Hey, welcome back. My name is Jay Oza. I'm a writer, speaker, coach, and an eternal student. And I'm the author of this book, Winning Speech Moments: How to Achieve Your Objective with Anyone, Anytime, Anywhere. And I'll tell you more about it at the end of this video. So, today I'm going to give you a job interview tip. And this one is more about how to interview your manager. I mean, let's face it, your success at a company or essentially anywhere depends on your relationship with your immediate boss. Now, I don't want to make it too complicated and go above it, but your immediate boss is extremely important. If that relationship is not excellent, it will hurt your chances to advance in your career. So, at some point, if the company is interested in hiring you, it is extremely important for you to interview the manager. And a lot of people just don't do this. They're just so happy to get a job. And that's fine. And it doesn't work out. Case in point, Donald Trump. Look at the number of people who have joined Donald Trump's administration that are leaving a little bit over a year after he took over. That is simply unacceptable. All these people took the job, but they never interviewed Donald Trump. And look what happened. Some of the top positions, Secretary of State, National Security Advisor. I mean, it just, I could run out of, I could spend, I don't want to waste your time going through the list, but it's just not acceptable to have all these people joining and then they're getting fired. And the reason this happened is they did not interview Donald Trump. They were just so happy to work for him that they forgot that they needed to interview him. So I'll have some questions that you need to ask. The first important question that you need to ask your immediate supervisor, manager, boss, whatever you want to call it: Mr. Manager, how do you like to communicate? What is your communication style? Absolutely important. If you don't know how to communicate, you're already starting off on a bad footing. If the person likes to be called, then you call the person. If the person likes to get text messages, then you text the person. If the person likes email, you email. Ask them, if something is immediate, how do you like to communicate? If something that is not important, how do you like to communicate? Because you don't want to miss that. If the person's style is one particular way, you have to do it. Although, and it's something you have to do because he's your manager. The manager is the one that determines the communication that exists, how you're going to communicate between you and your manager. Okay? That's number one. Second one, you need to ask the manager, how do you compliment people? If I've done something well, give me an example. What do you do? Attaboy? Take me out to lunch? What do you do? Do you let the team know? What exactly? Because you want to get some feedback. How do you get feedback? So that's a part of separate question. How do you provide feedback? Because feedback could be both complimentary and could be critical. So you need to know, how do you compliment and how do you criticize? You could lump that into one. How do you provide positive feedback and negative feedback? So that's what I call it: compliment and criticize. Fourth question: how do you fire people? Absolutely important. I always say to people, you're hired to be fired. At some point, something is not going to go well. And how do they do it? Give me an example. Let's say I joined and suddenly you decide that things are not working out and you want to fire me. How will you do it? I'd rather know now than to be surprised later on and I get an email from you saying, don't show up for work today. That's unacceptable. I need to know, how do you fire people? And that'll tell you a lot about how the person deals with that type of situation. Firing is not a hard thing, it's uncomfortable. So you want to know, how does he handle uncomfortable things? Companies at some point has the right to get rid of people they like. The manager has the right if it's not compatible, if it's not meeting the objective. But the way you do it is absolutely important. So ask that question. How do you fire people? Give me an example. And what happened afterwards? How did you help the person out? The fifth question, how do you make your employees more marketable so that they can leave this company if they want to? Because you don't want to keep people to stay here if they don't want to be. So how do you make them more marketable? Because if you make them more marketable, then they may decide to stay. If you're marketable, then means that there are people out there that want you. And isn't that what the companies want? They want you to be somebody that other people want. So ask that question. What do you do to make somebody more marketable? Don't give them, because that's an important question that the manager has to think about. Could be the education, could be the experience, could be the way we do things, could be the process, could be the way contacts, etc. Absolutely important. You need to know, because if you're not going to be more marketable working for that manager is not helping your career. It's hurting your career. You need to ask that question. Another question is, how do you coach people? He's the manager. He's the main coach. You're the one working for him. He must know how to get certain things done. How do you coach me so that I can improve myself? Because he's hired you because you're good. But now he has to provide coaching so he can make you better. Find out how does he or she does it. Because if that person cannot coach, then you're going to basically be wasting your time. You're not going to be happy, and you're not going to advance in your career. Here's an important final. Ask the manager 3 words that he would use to describe himself or herself as a manager. Okay? Get those 3 words. Ask them. Okay. When I go ask other people 3 words to describe you, what word do you think they would use? And then go ask the other people during the interview process, hey, what 3 words would you use to describe this manager? And see if there's consistency. Absolutely important question. So the whole point of this video is to let you know that when the manager asks you all the question to get a job, it's one way. You can get the job. You can prepare, but it could hurt your career if the manager is not right for you. So it's very important that you set up some time and say, hey, now that you like me, you would like me to bring aboard, but I'm still not sold on you, Mr. Manager. Not in those words, but you kind of get the idea. I'd like to spend half hour or so, 1 hour, and interview you so I know I'm working for the right manager, so we're going to do wonderful things together so that it's mutually beneficial for you as a manager and me as an employee. It's an important conversation to have. That should be a separate conversation. It should be a separate conversation after they're ready to move and make an offer. You need to have that conversation. Without that, you're kind of flying blind taking that job. They might give you a great salary, everything. Could be an outstanding company. Could be Google, Facebook, Amazon, you name it. That's irrelevant to you. The relationship you have with the manager is the most important relationship for your career. Because when you are accepting the job, they always say that you join a company, but you leave because you're a manager, or something to that extent. Okay, so keep this in mind, and I want you to think about that. I've just given you some questions that I would ask, but there could be a lot. But this has to be done in a separate conversation where you get to ask the question, where you decide before you accept it that it's going to work for you. Now, I want to say one more thing about my book. Now, this is something I don't think any authors offer. If you purchase this book and send me a receipt or whatever you have online, whether you buy it online or paperback, I will give you 30 minutes of my time to talk to you. If anything in this book that you want me discuss with me. I do it usually on Fridays afternoon, and the time slots fill up. So if you read this book and you want to interview me and even videotape me, and you can use it on YouTube or whatever, hey, here's a good way to practice this, okay? You can ask me questions about my book or anything related to public speaking, or just let me know what kind of questions you're interested in so I can prepare ahead of time. But I will give you that time on Friday afternoon. It's first come, first serve. I will try to accommodate you as long as I have time available because I keep those 4 hours open. If they're available, you can get the slot and you can interview me. And if you've never done it, it might be a good way to start. I'm making myself available. But I need you to purchase this book because otherwise, what are we going to talk about? So I trust you. You'll purchase the book, read it, contact me at joz at winningspeechmoments.com, and let's talk. Who knows? You may even get an idea to start your podcast from that. Okay, so take advantage of it. Um, I have been getting requests, and I've been setting up time slots. And like I said, it's first come, first serve basis. So get the book quickly and get on the time slot before they start filling up. And then, like I said, if I can't do it within 2 weeks, I'm not going to schedule you. Okay? So you got to do it fast because I don't plan things way in advance saying, okay, 6 months from now I'm going to do it. Get 2 week window, get the book, read it, get me on your calendar on one of the Fridays, and let's do it. Okay? Thank you for watching this video. And if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, even criticism, let me know. And as always, thank you for your time and watching this video. I hope it helps.